Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about a book I'm reading, Anatomy of the Spirit by Caroline Myss, or Miss, I'm actually not sure how to pronounce her name. But anyway, I started reading this book. I came across it in one of our cupboards with books, of which we have many, while I was playing with Caesar outside the one day, and he was just entertaining himself with the dogs, and I was just kind of sitting there. And then usually what I do is I'll go and see what's there to read. And so I came upon this book on top of a cupboard, all dusty, and I was like, why not? Let's start reading this. It's quite an interesting book for anyone interested in the body and mind connection. I think you'll find a lot of valuable points in here that you can take home with you and practice in your daily life. Some of the stuff in here is a bit like, yeah, but as long as you keep a critical, common sense outlook while reading this book, I think there's quite a bunch of cool things you can take home with you, like I said. Now, yesterday I was reading a particular chapter, I think, on compassion, and she brings up the concept of woundology. Now, what is woundology? How she kind of puts it is that it's when people are trying to heal or process certain traumas or past injuries, but in that process they kind of never get past actually embracing and letting go and moving on, but they keep holding on to what happened to them, and it kind of becomes part of their identity. And how that actually can be quite disempowering for yourself, while at the same time creating the illusion of you empowering yourself. Perhaps to give more context, I'll describe the examples that she gives. So for instance, the one encounter is where she's meeting someone for lunch or something, and some of the person that she's meeting friends are there, and they ask her if she's available on a certain date to do something, and she goes, that date, oh my god, any other date than that one, because on that date I meet with my incest survivor group and I always go there and I never let them down. Any date but that date. So then Caroline in herself goes, okay, that's odd, because this friend isn't asking a simple yes no question, meaning are you available that day or not? You know, a simple yes or no would have been enough. Yet this particular person felt the need to really put it out there that she's an incest survivor, and that's when she meets with her group and she never lets them down, and that's who she is. And then later she asks her about this, like, why did you answer in that way? And basically the friend pretty much defends herself and says like, oh, you don't understand how much we go through and how we need each other, and it's so mean of you to expect that I would just give a yes and no answer when this is such a big deal and such a huge part of my life. So that's one encounter that happened. Then there was another one where she's doing a workshop. She's there a bit early, and there's another woman sitting there, and she asks her, hey, what's your name? And she says her name, her age, and immediately goes, I'm an incest survivor, and obviously I'm now past that, but I'm still in a group and we really support each other, and kind of the whole same script all over again. So then she starts looking into this point of, okay, why do we feel the need to put our wounds out there and define and identify ourselves according to past injuries with new people that we've never met, or people that have no particular relationship to incest whatsoever, yet you feel the need to put that information out there from the start, which is kind of questionable. So why do people do that? And when I looked at it, it's because you kind of want to set the stage. You want to set the tone of, look at all these bad things that happened to me. You better, be careful around me because I went through that. And if you annoy me, not necessarily annoy, but, if you rub against me in one way or another that I don't like, I can label you as an abuser because, oh my God, I'm an incest survivor. And now, with how I'm talking, I'm not trying to belittle or minimize the seriousness of sexual abuse in any way whatsoever. But the point the woman's making in this book is that, okay, it's terrible that happened, but you have to work through it and let it go. Why do you feel the need to bring that into every single relationship that you have that you can hold against people? Where essentially you identifying with your victim status is a power move, where it's something you can keep drawing from and using as an excuse, like say someone tells you something to your face, something say at work, where perhaps they didn't like how you handled something, and they're being very direct and they're being very stern with you because perhaps it's a behavioral point that really needs to change. And instead of looking at yourself and going, all right, what did I do there? Is there anything that needs to change? Is there anything where I can specify myself? Instead, a person who holds on to their victimhood will immediately go, how did they just talk to me? Oh my God, they have no respect for me whatsoever. They are such bullies. They remind me of this person that abused me in the past, and it just keeps going there. Where there is no moment of reflection or no moment where you really look at what another person is saying, because you're filtering everything through your victim status, and everything gets warped and misinterpreted through that one singular point. And I was reading a bit through this book, this particular section. I was looking at like, okay, well, that's interesting. And I started looking kind of through my life. I'm like, wait, where did I play out this victim status and actually use it as a form to gain power over others, to use this to be excused from certain things, to want other people to pity me, for other people to take over certain responsibilities for me because I don't feel like I want to do them, or maybe I feel like I'm not capable of doing them. But it's more that I don't really know whether I can do them or not, but I don't want to put myself in that vulnerable position of finding out. And looking back, I saw there was actually quite a few points where I played with that as a child, where first of all, when I got my glasses, I was, how old was I? Second year of primary school, 7 or 8. And first of all, my mom had been telling me, okay, I was one of the tallest persons in the class, which meant that I always had to sit way at the back of the classroom so that I wouldn't be blocking anyone else's vision towards the blackboard. And my mom always told me, just be careful because you're sitting at the end of the classroom. You're quite a bit away from the blackboard. You're going to have to pay real good attention to your eyes, and if you can still see clearly everything that's written on the board. Because if that's not the case, they're going to have to move you closer, and we might have to get you glasses. And whenever my mom would say that, it's like as a child, you can kind of feel when your parents are in fear and are really worried and concerned about something. And you're like, that's quite interesting. Most of the time my parents are controlling me, but look, now I found this little weakness that really gets to them. And lo and behold, I got glasses. It started happening. One day I was sitting at the back of the class, and lo and behold, the letters were looking more and more fuzzy. And I went to my mom and said, Mom, it happened. Like, it's getting more frustrated. Now, I don't know if I created my eyesight according to that or not. I don't know, but it's quite a funny coincidence. And I could sense at my mom there was this real concern about my eyes, because I need good eyesight to read well, to have good grades, to make it in this world. You know, that whole matrix was behind that. And in a way, I felt so empowered that I could make my mother feel this way, and that my mother would give me more attention and spend more time with me. And yeah, all these benefits that come from having sorry, well, disability, you know, something wrong with you. And then I remember as well that at some point I would suddenly have hearing problems, and I was like, Mom, I'm not hearing very well, maybe we should go to the ear doctor. So now my mom's going, what if she's got something wrong with her ears? You know, and she was like very serious about it, like, you have to make an appointment. And she was like on it because she was really, really concerned about what if that's true. Poor little Layla, she's losing her vision and she's losing her hearing. And you know how I use that point of I don't hear very well, like, oh, I didn't hear you told me to go to sleep. Oh, I didn't hear food was ready, because, you know, my ears, they're not working very well. And then even later, when I was a teenager, when I got myself into a point where I had an eating disorder, and I was getting really, really skinny, and my mom was getting really, really concerned about me. You know, there was like a sense of power in that wow, I can make that person feel that way, and they will go out of their way to now do things for me to make me feel better, because they don't want me to be that way. And so these are now more you know, when there's actually something, I suppose, wrong with you, how you can use that to essentially manipulate the people in your environment, because you want them to feel bad for you so that they will treat you differently. And then you use that as a way to get your way. And I think it's also interesting because, you know, in the past, I'm talking general human history past, there was this thing where when people went through bad experiences and traumas and shit happened to them, that it wasn't taken seriously enough. And it's like throughout time we're now compensating this by giving too much attention, being too compassionate, being too cautious around people who have gone through something, instead of acknowledging, okay, you went through something, I'm really sorry, I will assist you to the best of my ability, but don't let this become a crutch. Learn from this and see how you can become more. Don't let it hold you back. And I mean, it's even in very small things that you can play this victim in disguise. Say silly example, say your husband didn't put out the trash on a certain day, even though you asked him so many times. And next time something happens, you're going to use that and you're going to bring it up and you're going to make him feel bad for it, just so you can get your way in something else. Instead of letting go and forgiving that memory, you're going to now use it and make someone else feel bad, so that they would feel bad for you and do what you want them to do. So yeah, I suppose have a look at where you're being a victim, but it's actually a power move, and in how many ways we want to hold on to past injuries, past injustices, past grudges. Like, how many things today are you still holding on to that you are using to leverage your power to get things your way? And it's not always going to be easy to see, because often you'll feel very self-righteous in, but you know what that person said was really, really hurtful. You know, like, I am allowed to use it against them, because I mean, just look at it. So then you have to look at, okay, why am I holding on to this? What am I gaining out of holding a grudge? How am I actually limiting myself and stunting my own self-expansion in holding on to these things? Yeah. Okay, that's all I wanted to share. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.